This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. A man was left to die on Friday night in what appears to be a hit and run, according to police. They are now investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of the body of a man north on Coral Harbor Road. Assistant Superintendent of Police Audley Peters gave reporters these details on the scene.
Shortly after 7 a.m. this morning, the police were called to a traffic accident that occurred on Coral Harbor Road. On their arrival, they met the body of a male lying on the ground with injuries as well as a cycle. EMS was called in, and on their examination, they pronounced the body lifeless.
Now, according to ASP Peters, initial investigations indicate that the man riding the cycle was hit from behind by a vehicle that left the scene. The victim received injuries to the face. ASP Peters makes this appeal.
We're appealing to members of the public who may have any information in regards to this incident to call the traffic station and assist us with the information that they have. We also want to advise persons traversing the road on cyclists, whether it be in the night or in the day, to kindly wear the reflective gears on their persons, or as well put the relevant apparatus on their cycles so that they may be identified in the day as well as in the night.
ASP Peters says the victim appears to be between the ages of 65 and 75. The Department of Immigration reporting an accident in Great Inagua involving one of its own vehicles and a civilian vehicle, resulting in serious injuries to a female civilian. Immigration officials in a press statement says at approximately 1:15 a.m. on Sunday, an accident occurred involving the Bahamas Department of Immigration's Jeep Wrangler and a silver 5-door foreign vehicle driven by the civilian female. The immigration officer was not seriously injured. The female's vehicle received extensive damages, while the department's Jeep Wrangler received some damages. Local medical teams and officers of the Royal Bahamas Police Force were reportedly on scene. Police and senior immigration officials were en route to Inagua yesterday to engage in further detailed investigations regarding this serious matter. In crime news, a busy weekend for law enforcement officers as they investigate a number of incidents in hope of bringing these matters to a close. Police investigating separate shooting and stabbing incidents that occurred on Sunday. According to reports, a shooting incident has resulted in 2 males being detained in hospital. Reports are that shortly before 9 p.m., police were called to Kwaku Street. Upon arrival, officers were informed that a masked man exited a vehicle traveling west and opened fire in the direction of 2 males. The assailant injured both males before fleeing the scene. The victims were transported to hospital via EMS, where they are listed in stable condition. Then, shortly before 11 p.m., police were called to Derby Road, Yellow Elder Gardens. Upon arrival, officers found a male victim lying in a pool of blood. When questioned as to what occurred, he was initially combative and then refused to answer the officers' questions. The victim was transported to hospital via EMS, where he is listed in critical condition. Meantime, police on New Providence seeking the public's assistance in identifying and locating a male suspect believed to be responsible for an armed robbery. Reports indicate that shortly before 11 p.m., a male was seated in a vehicle on Podolio Street when an unknown male jumped into the vehicle and drove off with him. The suspect then produced a black handgun and demanded that the victim exit the vehicle before robbing him of that silver 2008 Nissan Altima. The suspect made good his escape in the area of Marathon Road. Investigations into these matters continue. In crime news from Grand Bahama, 2 males on that island are left nursing wounds following a shooting incident in West End. Reports are that yesterday, shortly before 11 p.m., police were called to a business establishment in West End where 2 males were both reportedly shot in their legs by an unknown male dressed in dark clothing and a mask. Both victims were transported to Rand Memorial Hospital via EMS personnel, where their injuries are listed as non-life threatening. Investigations into these matters continue. The Ministry of Education branding a social media post as fake news. The post claims that the Ministry of Education spent millions of dollars on computer tablets for virtual learning, only to discover that the tablets were incompatible with the Zoom platform, so they could not be used. Well, education officials say the ministry has not purchased any devices which were not compatible with its platform, adding that the Ministry of Education has gratefully accepted donations of tablets, laptops, and netbooks from corporate and private citizens who have generously given of their resources to support the continuity of learning. Education officials say all of these devices are being utilized in the management of school operations, in the collection of data, in the field, and on its Office 365 platform for the creation and sharing of documents. The Ministry of Education contends that all donated items have proven to be useful tools in the teaching and learning process. And Bahamian Brewery Company launched the production of its line of products today. The company was extensively damaged during Hurricane Dorian in September of last year and has undergone extensive renovations. Just 1 month ago, CEO of Bahamian Brewery in Freeport, Grand Bahama, James "Jimmy" Sands, said that the company had anticipated a relaunch of its famous Sands beer in May, but was unfortunately sidelined by the outbreak of COVID-19. Well, this past Friday, Mr. Sands took Minister of State for Grand Bahama, Senator Kwesi Thompson, and President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Roll, on a tour of the renovation of the facility. Minister Thompson says the reopening of the Bahamian Brewery Company's production facility is an example of what it means to go through hard and difficult times and come back out bigger and better, adding that it sends a positive message to the entire island. Minister Thompson notes that it's also commendable that the company, following the destruction of the business, kept all of its staff employed. At present, some 85% of the employees are back on the job, with others being furloughed. However, as the production line kicked into gear today, more staff members were expected to be re-employed. Another good day in Grand Bahama, according to Senator Thompson. Stay with us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.